Okay, so it's been a little minute since I talked about One Piece, but in this video I want to talk about a lot of the revelations and secrets that have been revealed, and also just what's been going down up to the latest chapter as of the recording of this video, chapter 977. A lot of shit has gone down. We got hints at Kaido having a kid. We've had the traitor of the alliance revealed, Kanjuro. We've just had quite a bit of things going down. Big Mom is putting on a kimono. No, yeah, we got some shit to talk about with One Piece. So without further ado, baby, let's talk that One Piece greatness.
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be though.
Okay, so before we begin the video, I just want to apologize for all the One Piece fans that I've let down. I've been doing this for like 10 years now, talking about One Piece. I've talked about it for years and years. I was very consistent, and I know the past couple years, to be honest with you, I've been pretty inconsistent. I'll go a month without talking about the manga and shit like that. And to be honest with you, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I have too high of expectations regarding making content related to One Piece. I think too highly of the series, and you know, it's not to slight any other manga, but I think too highly of the series, and I'm very critical of myself when I talk about the series. I feel as though if I miss one thing, or I don't like how I presented myself, or I don't like you know, just the way I created the video, the content at the time, I don't want to put it out. And I've done that so many times to the point where I don't know if I'm just being ridiculous at this point. I don't know if I'm being too overcritical of myself. I don't know what the hell is going on, but to be honest with you, that's one of the main reasons why I am the way I am with the One Piece reviews. I mean, I'm a little bit less, but I'm somewhat like that with the My Hero Academia reviews. But My Hero Academia is a different story with that, different video. But with One Piece in particular, I just always feel like I gotta nail it. I feel like if I don't talk about every nook and cranny in very vivid detail, I'm letting you guys down. So that's honestly the main reason, on top of life stuff, and of course now with everything that's happening. But really, I'm sorry for the One Piece fans that they constantly are disappointed by, hey, no video this week, no video that week. And I'm sure a lot of people are already giving up and saying, hey, we'll get one when we get one, whatever, screw you, Fornev. But yeah, I'm going to continue to try my best to get back on board. I really want to be able to release these videos talking about each chapter the week they come out, you know, within a day or two of the chapter releasing, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the ongoing issue for like the last couple years. Now, going all the way back to, I want to say 973 was the first chapter that I had and talk about the manga up till 977. One of the key points I want to talk about there is seeing how, despite the fact that Kaido was a punk and an asshole, along with Orochi, and basically didn't go with his word. You know, he gave his word to Oden, you survive in the pot, everything will be good, you know what I'm saying, we'll let you guys go. And he went back on his word, and they still killed him and did what they did. I will say one thing that came out of all that was he definitely gained some type of respect for him. He definitely felt some admiration, because you got to think, first of all, the feat that Oden was able to pull off was exponentially insane. You know what I mean? Like standing in that pot holding up his peoples for an hour, that was freaking nuts. Oden was a G, and it showed that at the very least, somewhere within Kaido's decrepit piece of crap heart, he respected it enough that even though he's choking out Momo in one scene, he's, you know, Momonosuke is just there like he's about to rip his freaking head off, he throws him and he spares him essentially. And I think a lot of that is due to he had respect for Oden, for what Oden accomplished, for what Oden stood for, and everything that Oden did. That was probably why he allowed him at that time to survive, which again, that shows that something came out of that nightmare, despite, you know, and I'm not just talking about because at the end of the day, Oden's wife was able to allow, you know, a lot of their people out of, from Kinemon, Kanjuro, Kawamatsu, well, no, it wasn't Kawamatsu. With Kawamatsu, I don't think he came in the portal with them, but was able to send those people to the future. But I think one of the big things that came out of that as well was the fact that Kaido did gain enough respect to spare Oden's son for whatever that value is. I mean, Momonosuke is one of the things that is constantly prepping up and pepping the people to like, yeah, you know, he's the heir to the Kozuki name and shit like that. So it came into something, despite I still gotta say Kaido was a piece of shit for what he did, not you know, falling through with his word and shit. Like, Kaido, you suck for that. Then we had some revelations regarding Kyoshiro and Komurasaki, finding out that is actually Denjiro and Hiyori, which one of them is that Denjiro basically, he, from flipping out of what happened to Oden, the stress and everything, turned his face into that. That was a cool reveal, to be honest with you. I mean, I always thought that there was something off with that whole thing where we thought that Kyoshiro, like, you go back to my video, whenever it was, a year or two ago, when I talked about that chapter, I definitely said, like, no, there was something fishy about that. Komurasaki, I don't know exactly who she is, but that didn't really, that seemed off, with Kyoshiro just slicing her up. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what happened. Again, memory a little fuzzy, but so the revelation really dope there. I feel as though Oda has been little by little, with every chapter, every couple chapters, giving a big revelation, because now it seems as though we're striding into like the big finale, so to speak, or getting close to the start of the big finale of the Wano arc, because with that big revelation, now we got all the key players, we got it, you know, most of the secrets are out the window at this point regarding what's going on here on Wano and with everybody around, you know, getting the Denjiro being Kyoshiro, which it's kind of like, well, we got all his vassals little by little. We were like, okay, we know where's Kinemon, we know where's Kanjuro, we know where's Kawamatsu, we know where this one, that one, and third. What about Denjiro? Well, he was there all along, which is dope, and it kind of made him, he's more, I don't know, for me, I feel as though he's a bit more epic looking in the Kyoshiro look. It has more of a Japanese style to him and whatnot, but I don't know, I dig the Kyoshiro look more than the Denjiro look. Denjiro, he just looks like a plain dude. Like Kyoshiro, he looks like a monster. And the Komurasaki being Hiyori, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And it's really tragic if you think about it. Like, just take a second, step back for a minute. So basically, Komurasaki, or Hiyori, has spent a good chunk of her life pleasing, and I don't even know in which ways, I can only imagine, whether it be sexually or whatever the case may be, but she's been pleasing the man responsible for killing her father for many of years, at the very least, since she arrived at the capital and been, you know, one of his peoples, one of his women or whatever, with Orochi. That is terrible. That's devastating. That is kind of fucked up, to be honest with you. Like, she spent a lot of her life in this hell. Like, after all of this, even though One Piece never really dives into the psyche of characters, you're always gonna be batshit crazy. Like, how the hell do you live your life like that, pleasing the man that killed your father? Like, bonkers. Then the revelation about Kanjuro being the traitor. That was a big one. There were so many theories. People said Shinobu. People were saying Carrot for the longest time. Short little bit, people were like, maybe it's Law. The Kanjuro thing, I think that it was very clever. I think the way Oda executed it, it was like, majority of people didn't see that shit coming. I remember it was probably like a week before the actual chapter reveal came out that it was Kanjuro or whatever. Somebody said, imagine it's Kanjuro and he was faking his art, and I was like, that's a great theory. The only problem with Kanjuro being the big traitor is that I feel as though his role wasn't as relevant as maybe people would have liked him to be in order to be like the big traitor, because Kanjuro is just like, I remember going back to Punk Hazard, like Kinemon just screaming, I need my Kanjuro, my dude, that's my fan, we was you know, separated and shit like that. That's the extent of, and then, you know, just seeing him here or there with his bad art and shit like that. That's really what I remember, and it's kind of sad. What was the name of the little shitty looking dragon that he drew? You think about it, he's been sadistic for a long time, because essentially he's one of the greatest actors. He's like the Drake of One Piece, so to speak, pretending to be this incredibly you know, Kanjuro basically he fooled everyone. I think it was really nicely done, again, with the bad art. Oda put very good detail into making sure that he was very like, nobody's gonna suspect this dude, and I'm sure somebody's gonna come in the comments and say, ever since chapter 642 I knew it was you're right, okay, you called it, all right. And I also thought it was pretty dope and a good twist that he was actually a part of the same lineage as Orochi, which made sense of why he would go through with this. Although, to be honest with you, with covert operations, it's a tricky situation. You think about it, because he spent a good majority of time with these people, so I'm sure sure he gained some type of bond with them, even though he's been faking it, because you can only fake so much. Eventually you're going to either care for to a certain degree, or something is going to happen despite playing like this covert operation. So I'm imagining Kanjuro, even though he dipped away with Momo, and he was like, yeah, you know, I got away. I do think at some given point there will be some redemption for Kanjuro. I do think that at some given point he's going to do something noble, whether it be that in the end he has a change of heart, or he hears that Orochi tells him, you piece of shit, I just been using you, I don't care, and then he's gonna do something. I think there is redemption in the future for Kanjuro, despite tricking, you know, the Kozuki people for all these years and pretending to be down for the cause, when in reality he was just a snake all along. Cool character development from Momo, and I love how Luffy had to point it out, like, hey, the sniveling brat is actually manning up, when he's like, don't worry, I'll find a way out, as he's crying and he's trying to be a brave, you know, following his father's footsteps. I think that's the little bit of Oden in him that allowed him to have the courage to say that shit, which that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not the biggest Momo fan, but just all around, it's just great writing from Oda. Like, One Piece is, what am I gonna say other than maybe I would have liked for the Traitor to have been somebody a little bit more recognizable for the Kanjuro situation. Like, maybe not recognizable, because Kanjuro, who doesn't know Kanjuro at this particular point? But if it was Carrot, it probably would have been a little bit more devious, even though Kanjuro was in the manga longer than Carrot. But it's something about Carrot, like everybody feeling like she's the next Straw Hat, and oh, you know, a lot of people loving her. I don't remember that many diehard Kanjuro fans like, oh my god, I want to cosplay Kanjuro. I don't remember that shit. So I think it would have been a bigger twist if it was Carrot, but I ain't mad at it. I think it was cleverly done. Maybe he just should have been a little bit more important in more recent times at the very least, to remind us about this character and why it's such a shame that he's a traitor now. And I ain't gonna lie, it was recently where we got the panels, because now we got everybody, all the key players, well, most of the key players anyway are there. We got Luffy, we got Law, we got Kid, and when we see that first panel of the three of them showing up, when Kanjuro's trying to be a little bastard ass rat and run away, and they show up and shout like, ah, like everything is coming together nicely. I mean, it's been a grind to get to this particular point in a good way, with a lot of setups, build-ups, and all that creative shit that One Piece does. But when I saw that panel, I was just like, we're getting there, baby. And then this one right here in particular, I'm a little shaky about it, with Jinbei showing up, and Jinbei is finally taking in the role after I don't know how many times now. It's been 3 or 4 different times that he showed up, and it's like, yo, he's about to be a Straw Hat finally, and then for one reason or another he got separated and couldn't, you know, at the end, the whole cake, he had to stay behind to stop Big Mom, and you know, quite a few different times at the end of Fisherman Island he said, hey, I got some things to handle before I can actually fully join you. I think to a certain degree, one of the things why Jinbei was excluded from the story for this long is because you got to think, One Piece is in the home stretch. I've heard so many things about Wano essentially being somewhat, not completely, not entirely, but somewhat of the climax of the manga. Jinbei, if he would have been through all of this with the crew, it's kind of like he's a walking spoiler for the crew. Like, that's one of the things that I always thought why I was not that mad at Jinbei being excluded, on top of the fact that, like, Jinbei is dope. I like Jinbei, but in terms of like comparing him to some of the others, it's not like he's like 10 times better character than any of the other Straw Hats. So I was never really like too whoa. I was just like, okay, he's cool, but he's just like a spoiler. He's a guide map of like, hey, okay, so I've been here, this is how we're gonna do it, I know these dudes here, this is how we're gonna do it. And one of the things I'll never forget, when Luffy and Usopp were with Rayleigh, and you know, the Straw Hats were with Rayleigh, and Usopp was about to ask about the One Piece, Luffy started screaming, if I find out, if you tell me right now what that is, you know, what the One Piece is, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. Which, if you think about it, Jinbei would have been not telling him about what the One Piece is, but spoiling the journey. Being one of those, oh, I already did that shit, let me tell you about it. So now that we're more in the home stretch, and I don't know exactly how much of New World Jinbei has been to, like, it's not like he could tell them about Raftel. It's not like he could tell them about a lot of these places that they're headed to next. So bringing him in now, especially when we need all the help we can get, like, we're going up against monsters. If we struggled against Big Mom alone on Whole Cake and her children, what the hell do you think is going to happen now going up against Big Mom, not all of, I think a good chunk of her kids, and then Kaido, all of his people? We need everyone. We need those 5,000 dudes that want to follow Luffy, you know, the giants and all that shit that we got from Dressrosa. We need them. We need them right now. I don't know if this is going to be the part where they come in, or is it going to be the war later on down the road against the world government and shit. We need them. Just want to throw in there, kind of funny how, you know, Denjiro and a few people think so highly of Kinemon, like, oh, he gave them the wrong, so what's the real plan? And Kinemon's like, yeah, like, I love that shit. That's just like some buggy trolling. Like, of course I had a plan. Like, you were tricked too. You tried to chop off Kanjuro's head the first second you thought, you're like, Kanjuro! Yeah. And then in the recent chapters, we got some shit that we haven't seen in like 100, 200 chapters. To be honest with you, I don't even know since when. Getting panels with all of the Straw Hats in one scene. That shit was like, it's about time. It's been so long and we've had such an expanded cast of characters that I couldn't even tell you when's the last time. I think somebody actually had pointed it out to me. They sent me a message like, yo, it's been this amount of time since we've had all of the Straw Hats and this amount of time since we've had all of them with Jinbei and this one and that one. I was like, god damn, but it's good that finally all the pieces coming together, which is really making me wonder how much longer Wano is going to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, One Piece with its pacing and everything, I'm sure we still got a long stretch of battle and everything that's about to come along with, you know, the battles to take down Orochi and Kaido and all of his people and all of that stuff, but we got all the chess pieces are right here. You know what I'm saying? Most of the secrets are out the window about Denjiro, about Kyoshiro, you know, about Hiyori, Komurasaki, Kanjuro, the Traitor, Jinbei showing up, and then now leading into Kaido has a son apparently. I'm curious who his son is. Is it the one that I can't remember his name, but basically, was it King? Yeah, I want to say it was King. Is King his son? And he's finally referring to him, but he's never referred to him as his son beforehand. So I'm kind of curious who the hell is his son. And it's kind of interesting that, you know, a lot of theories, people said that Big Mom and Kaido had a kid together. I'm curious if that's actually coming to fruition, because again, got Big Mom putting on a kimono, which I don't know why I decided to talk about that in the beginning of this video, but yeah, Big Mom's putting on a kimono for the big celebration, which, oh man, I feel like this is a hopeless situation, because I still go back to Whole Cake when Luffy with gear fourth and all try to punch Big Mom, and it was just like a dead still even thing where it's like, well, what the hell are we gonna do again? And I mean, again, all the pieces are there. The what they call themselves, the Tobi Roppo have arrived. Kaido screaming for his son. Everything is like in place. And honestly, One Piece yet again, it's monotonous and redundant to say it's been great. Yes, it's been great. Every piece has come together. Has it been everything at 1,000 out of 10? You know, the Kanjuro revelation was like, it was great in terms of nobody thought of it, but nobody thought of it because Kanjuro wasn't that relative to the conversation. Nobody's like, there's no Kanjuro fans, you know what I'm saying? It would have felt more, oh, if it was somebody that we actually gave a shit about, even Carrot. Like, a lot of people like Carrot, so that's a little bit like where I'm like with the Kanjuro situation. Very interested though. A lot of questions. For starters, who do you guys think is Kaido's son? Is it King, the freaking devil monstrous shit, and is Kaido's son also Big Mom's son? Do they have a kid in common? What did you think about the Kanjuro reveal? How did you feel about that? Do you feel as though it was weak considering Kanjuro wasn't that important to us, or you was fine with it just because it was like nobody could have seen that shit coming, especially with the faking of having bad art, and then all of a sudden this man is a genius at it? What did you think about Komurasaki being Hiyori and Kyoshiro being Denjiro? I think people probably could have called the Hiyori being Komurasaki to a certain degree, but again, it's when I think about the details of it, like, yo, she was basically sleeping with potentially the man that murdered her father. That shit is sick. And your overall thoughts and expectations of the One Piece manga up until now. Again, the latest chapter, 977. I think we got about a week and a half's wait or more for 978 because we got a break. Hope I please some of you guys with this. I know I should be making these lengthy videos every single week for One Piece, but at the very least, here's one lengthy video trying to cover up, or cover each and every topic that has happened, the big key points of every chapter since the last one I talked about, which again, I want to say was 972. Crazy shit has happened. This has been awesome, and it's still always going to be, even if I miss 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, One Piece greatness! But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and Wano, baby. Wano is legendary. One Piece greatness. One Piece greatness.
Everything good always comes to an end. If you stab me in my back, we can never make amends. Trying to move to acceptance, hard to accept it. Mistakes like mirrors, gotta reflect it. I don't wanna fucking leave, but I gotta leave. Leave the maybes to the crazies. Maybe one day there I go admitting something in a subtle way. No more copies, leave without a trace. Last time, I'ma say last time. Moving on to the future, leave the memories as a pastime. Memories always feel like the worst, deading all the past. Leave it in the hearse. Sometimes I wanna lie, but I don't. Why lie when truthfully you get caught in it? Then usually it's all off and shit, uncalled for shit. Now I'm off the shit. Maybe lately what I've been facing got me crazy. No, I can't take it. Maybe